He kōna I purangi tēnei nā te reo irirangi o Aotearoa.
Karotaha te pō, karotaha te ao. Mārunga mai koe māraro atu au tūramarama nuku tūramarama rangi, rangi ki runga ko papa ki raro. Koe rā e rongo whakairihi ake ki runga kia tīna, tīna, hui e, tai e.
Tēnā tātou katoa e te whānau kia koutou e whakarongo mai ana ki tēnei punua pāho e kia nei ko Paewhiri. Welcome back. This is episode 2 as part of this series, and it is Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori. You know, let's celebrate e te whānau, celebrate Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori. 50 years since its inception back in 1975, Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori started as one day. So koena te tino kaupapa e haere aki nei, but first of all, let's do a bit of a huri rauna I te ruma. Nairo, kei te pēhea koe.
Oh, the health is on a bit of a down there te whānau, but the waiter is up all the time. Kei te pai hau, kei te ora, kei te pai nā mea katoa. Ua puku mai ana, hoi anō, koera te āhuatanga, ao te pō te ao, I te oho e te moi, he mahi, he mahi, he mahi.
Oh, tō puku mahi hoki. Matua, kei te pēhea koe.
Ai te pai, ai te pai. Tēnei ki wiki kei te whakatāu.
Ai.
Ai, I ngā tangihana.
Tēnā koe matua. In episode 1, e te whānau, we heard from Mr. G, who talked about his haerenga in Te Reo Māori, beautiful kōrero. So it is, of course, Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori, and we're going to do our Te Reo Māori aspirations for this show. So just timatai nā kōrero. In 1972, 3 of these groups, Auckland-based Ngā Tamatoa, Auckland University's Te Reo Māori Society, and Te Huinga Rangatahi, they petitioned Parliament to promote the language. A Māori Language Day was introduced back in 1972, I think it was, which then became a week in 1975. 3 years later, what's that, 1978, New Zealand's first official bilingual school opened at Ruatoki in the Urewera. So that's a little bit of history about our Māori language. So what does this week, and we will get to Era Atu Ngā Take I tēnei wā tonu for the next part of the show. But when it comes to Te Reo Māori, Nairo, Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori, kia ho whakaaro?
I reckon it's a week to just go hard e te whānau. Kia kahara tātou ki te kōrero Māori. Engari kia oko whakaaro, kaua ko tērā wiki noi ho.
Ai.
Me kahara tātou. Pena he āheinga tō tātou ki te kōrero Māori, kia kahara kia tātou. He atāhua nō tō tātou reo, he atāhua nō kia pupuri tātou ki tō tātou reo. Kia whakamaori hia tō tātou ao.
Ai.
Ko te reo hei waka, kākawa I o tātou whakaaro. Engari ka tahuri ki te wiki o te reo Māori, he wā e tō atu ai te titiro o te hunga kari, tino mōhio ki te reo. Kia kite mai ai rātou ana I te reo Māori, me ona rerehua katoa, me ona maromahue katoa, me ona remurere katoa. Hei mā takitaki, hei whakarongo, hei ona wā kana nā watu. Ki te kato haere nā hua o tō tātou reo. I reckon our Reo Māori is a feature every day, and if you have the ability to kōrero Māori e te whānau, yeah, just give it heaps. Kōrero Māori if you're able to.
Absolutely, ka pai. Matua, what does Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori mean to you? Whakanui a te reo?
O e tahi atu tōku nei whānau e, me whakapakari ke rātou te reo. Hare atu ki te marae, pai ke hau ki te hare ki te marae, te mea kai reira ke te reo. Hoki atu ki te kāinga, kua ngaro ke te reo. Kua haua nā ke te kāinga, I taku kāinga, I te kōrero te reo, karakau he hoa mōku. Hei toha I tō tātou reo a tāhua. So, kia hau nei nā, kia kahara tātou.
Ia, pērā ia hau, karekau he hoa kōrero, he hoa reo Māori, ki te kāinga. So I have to search out peeps at the marae actually to kōrero Māori, and then I just get a little bit mangere to be, I'm just being pono e te whānau. Yeah. But sometimes when I go to have a coffee or walk around the maunga sometimes, I get quite surprised when people say mōrena to me. Why is that? From ngā mea Pākehā, I've, passed a few people, mōrena, I love it. I love it. I
Yeah,
love
it's
it.
because we haven't normalised it with ourselves, so we get caught off guard. And Ponoa get caught off guard too. You know, some of the faces that, you know, mistakenly I think, oh, it's just, you know, morning, how
Yeah.
are you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And you
Yep.
get the old morena, kei te
Morena.
pēhea koe, ka kite. And say, gee,
I know.
I got to sharpen up.
I know, that's so amazing.
Ka
when
pai e
it-
te whānau.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
great example of that. The other day I was coming across the bridge, myself and my moko put on our scooter, and there were about 4 ladies, hainamana, and they pulled over to the side, and as I drove past, they all yelled out, morena.
Don't you love
Oh,
that?
might have been a different sort of motivation there, matua. Morena.
Morena.
You sort of don't expect it, you know,
Yeah.
especially from, you know, hainamana.
Yeah.
But the whole 4 of them, yeah, as I drove past, morena.
Morena. I just love it.
I do that when going up and down or around Mauao. Just, kia ora, tēnā koe,
Yep.
tēnā kōrua, tēnā kote. And, you know, 9 times out of 10 you'll get a reply back in Te Reo Māori.
Yep.
It's cool.
It's beautiful. It surprises me. I hope next time it doesn't surprise me and it feels just a normal part of it, but it just takes me back. So when it comes to Te Reo Māori, it is Māori Language Week e te whānau. I wrote down who are our Te Reo Māori rock stars and why. So who are those peeps that we just like, oh man, they are just amazing. Reo, their presence, their, you know, energy. Who is that for?
Oh, you're not talking about our mate Ngairo, are you?
It's probably a definite no.
Actually, yeah. But I do have another kind of rock star in mind. But who is yours? But you are a rock star, Idol. But who are those for you? Who are your rock stars?
For me, John Rangihau, Timothy Karetu.
Katoa mātou whakahaere te tēnei where wānanga te whakaahuna kētia ki te reo Māori. Ko te krahea nake kai te whakaahuna ki te reo Pākehā ko ngā mea I tīmata mai kone I te tino kore mōhio. Engari katoa e tahi o ngā huatanga e whakaahuna nei kone ki te whakaahuna kētia ki te reo Māori. Nō reire ke te wehotia ko te reo Māori tonu, hei reo whakaako I ngā huatanga o te ao Māori.
Whare hui o Melroy.
Tuatahi, ko te mea nui hei titiro mā tātou. Kei te titiro mai te whare wānanga o Waikato ki te whakau I te mana o ngā mahi Māori I roto I te whare wānanga nei.
Pau Tēmara.
Oh, you're taking all the good ones.
And
Can't name drop those ones, you know.
Tamati Kruger.
Oh, yes.
Tamati Kruger. And all those hard case clowns on Ngau Tuara.
It's a really good series, by the way,
Oh,
with
it's
Chris
a
Winitana, Waihoroi Shortland.
Tu Waaka
Peeni.
Ma.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ka pai.
Chris Winitana. Yeah.
Neat. Well, my rock star for me, I've got to say, is Tamati Waaka.
I roto I ngā whare puka ka pānu I te reo, I runga I te pauaka whakaata ka mātaki I te reo, I roto I ngā kura ka aku I te reo. O te tikanga o tēnei he whakaora I te tikanga tawhito o ngā tumu kōrero, o ngā pū kōrero, I mua noa atu I te taenga mai o te hiko ki Aotearoa ki tēnei motu, no reira, mā ngā taringa, mā te hinenaro hei hopu I ngā kōrero, koira te tikanga nui o tēnei ki ana ko te reo wainene o tua.
I etahi wā kari au te tino mau ki tana reo, but I get the essence of his kōrero. And I just think he's so funny. He's a bit of a showboat, but, you know, he's hard case. I think he's a bit of a rock star. Yeah. What about you, Nairo? I mean, other than yourself, you rock star, you. Who's your rock star in Te Reo Māori?
I'm more of a rockhead head. To be honest, I don't really have people that I think of as rock stars.
Yep.
There's definitely the ones that I greatly admire and respect. And, you know, most of them were taken up by the brother over here when he name dropped them all. But, yeah, definitely the likes of the Kazi Tamati and all that sort of ilk that are out there, real edgy sort of presentations and different creative use of Te Reo Māori through various contexts. I really love those things about our exponents, I guess, that are out there doing their thing. But I guess if anything, the people that sort of cross my mind all the time are the ones that I work with. And there are different things about them that I admire, the way they teach, the way they interact, the way they express their passion in Te Reo Māori. These are the sorts of things that come to mind.
Nice.
That's right through all the names that have been said, but I think if there was something closer to home, it would be the ones that I work with.
From Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori, many ways of celebrating it, 50 years. And, you know, this is usually the time when many businesses and companies kind of get on board and student associations throughout the motu kind of do their own rautaki. Can you share anything that perhaps the university are doing now or not yet?
In terms of Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori, similar to a few other organisations, we're looking at running a quiz, also a panel with some very admirable speakers, various things just to promote Te Reo Māori in general.
Pai tū, pai hinga, nā wai rā kauti. Anei te punua pāoho o Paewhiri.
This is Paewhiri e te whānau, celebrating Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori. Thank you for listening to our podcast. You can find it wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, you know the deal. In te ao, there is the ups, the downs, nā piki me nā heke. Ko tētahi heke about Te Reo Māori in recent months is kupu Māori from our children's pukapuka. Online, teaonews.co.nz, and this is released on the 11th of August. Hei hinaki tēnei kōrero. Education leaders and linguists are angered at the Ministry of Education's decision to stop printing a primary school reader due to the high number of Te Reo Māori words. And these words include marae, karanga, kai, karakia, wharenui, koro and hongi, as well as the name of one of the book's characters, Tāne. The article goes on to say, in a statement, the ministry confirmed that At the Marae has been resized so it can be used for reading with students. Nairo, watching this unfold, kia o whakaaro e pāna ki tērā raru?
My whakaaro on there are not very positive, and I'm not in a very positive frame of mind when I think about it. I was listening to some of the commentary from our current PM, and he's giving comments like he's taken on board some feedback around some of the difficulty that, you know, some of the constituents or citizens of the country have in pronouncing Te Reo Māori. And my thoughts are, come on, e hoa, we're 200 plus years into it. Surely can make an effort to just do the little things. And, you know, a lot of the language that's being pulled out of our books through the call by the ministry are kupu that are used in everyday Aotearoa vernacular, New Zealand vernacular. So I don't know what they're trying to prove other than trying to legislate the language out of it, which is, you know, it's in full opposition to the treaty and their obligation. In my mind, you've got to ask the question, where are they getting advised by this? Yep. Where is this advice coming from? Please produce it.
Matua ni whakaaro?
You're only looking at 6 words in these books, and, you know, they've taken away street names, even the likes of Aotearoa, and we have them changing on our pukupuku whenua, on our passports. And, you know, so to me, when does it stop? Is this just the beginning? And yet it's an official language.
Yeah, I don't even think it's the beginning. I think it's just continual slackness, and just straight up don't want to live up to their obligations. They are obliged as treaty partners to enact their partnership as the government, and this is just not it. I mean, did they get this advice from Māori? No, because Māori wouldn't say that. So really, back to the question, where are they getting this advice from? Please produce it. Show us the reports. Show us all this, you know, amazing research. Where are you getting it from?
The kaupapa of this episode, Paewhiri, is celebrating Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori, and it just feels we cannot celebrate while on the other hand we have this type of take. So anyway.
Well, it'll sort of cloud the celebrations. I mean, regardless, I'm going Hundi. This will sort of sit on the back burner until we can get it addressed or get some leverage against it. And I asked it in other spaces. Okay, well, what about the names of the kids? Does that mean they now have to change their names from Māori pronouncing to, you know, anglicising like they did? Our parents' generation, I was given an anglicised name, and we know from their experiences, because it was easier to pronounce anglicised names than it was to pronounce Māori names, because they didn't give a stuff. I was trying to say another word, but might get edited e te whānau. To be fair, it's probably not the majority of teachers, I'd say the majority of teachers would want these readers
true.
kept how they are because they're somewhat enlightened. But this other logic that's come to play and has allowed the voice of authority it's a huge danger to our mighty language. And as I say, it sort of throws a cloud over our kaupapa of Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori. But we're going to run it straight into whānau.
Te whānau, ko ke whakamua. More kōrero after this. You're listening to Paewhiri here on Moana Radio and our podcast with RNZ National.
Pai tū, pai hinga, nā wai rā kauchi. Anei te punua pāoho o Paewhiri.
E te iwi aura ki mai rā ki tā tātou pāpāhotanga. E pāpāho atu ana ki a koutou mai te whare o te tīrai raka ko Paewhiri tēnei mihi nei ki a koutou. Tā tātou kaupapa! Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori i tēnei tau rua mano. E rua te kaumārima, nau mai hoki mai e te whānau. Welcome back to our show e te whānau, and we're running it up again for Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori. E hoa mai.
Absolutely. We talked about our admiration for the people that have carried our Te Reo Māori. Oh my goodness, nā ringa wera, nā ringa raupa o Te Reo Māori. Matua Te Keuku mentioned a few with late Tā Wharehuia Milroy, John Rangiho, Tamati Waaka. And you know what, I also mentioned Tamati Waaka because I remember back in my early days as a broadcaster, we used to do outside broadcasting of the Manu Kōrero. And I remember seeing Tamati Waaka when he was, I think he might have been like maybe 16. And there was a core group of speakers back then. Geez, I'm really telling my age, te whānau. Tamati Waaka, Mātai Smith, and who else was back in that era? I think that's all I remember.
Tamati Waaka, Mātai Smith, probably Julian Wilcox.
Was he the same Rianga?
Maybe, they might be just
might
a
have
little
been
bit
a years older. And then later on it was Kiengi Kiriona, Praone Gloin came around about that. Anyway, I digress. So, Nairo, where has Te Reo Māori taken you, aside from your beautiful mahi? Has it taken you overseas?
Sort of yes and no. It's probably more kapahaka that's taken me overseas.
Oh, yes.
But especially being able to kōrero Māori, you can be a bit more engaging, I think, and be a bit more reflective of the authenticity of some of that kaupapa that you carry through something like kapahaka. So to be able to greet the people in Te Reo Māori and have full knowledge of what you're saying, I think is a huge advantage. Also, in various... now that I remember, yes, I have been overseas specifically for a Te Reo Māori function, of which I was part of a hui, and it was about the revitalisation of the language Te Reo Māori, and sharing some of our experiences while we were over in, I think it was Michigan, Lansing, Michigan at the time.
Oh, nice.
And also a couple of communities through Seattle. Just Indigenous communities who were also probably like 40, 50 years behind us in that respect of just really kicking off their own cultural revolution, renaissance, as it were, and rebuilding their language speaker stocks and their knowledge keeper stocks. So in a lot of ways we're way ahead of other people, but I think regardless of that, we can only really focus on where we are and how we're moving against our own goals. So while others have other struggles and they're spaced at different parts along the sequence of recovery, we actually need to focus a lot of our energy on where we are at the moment and whether we're moving forward and whether the move forward is the type of move forward that we want, because there's a cost to everything. And so is the language developing, and are we recovering the language in a way that we can sustain and pass over with, a wholeheartedness to our children and to our mokopuna, so that they have a taonga themselves that they can carry through.
Beautiful, beautiful. Matua, are your mokos in that speaking te reo to you?
Yep. My little ones at the moment now, they're pretty young. But yeah, I speak Māori to them most of the time. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't matter where we are. If they're with me, I'll speak to them in Māori.
Yeah, and they can respond, and
And they understand what you're talking about. And then now that she's at the kohana reo and they feed in her the reo there,
Nice.
She's coming back, I wouldn't say a little bit brighter. Might be 50 watt instead of 100 watt. But
More
yeah,
cheeky,
she
eh?
loves it. She loves it. She loves the kohana now. She just likes taking part there, and the reos there all the time.
Beautiful. Ka pai.
I had a discussion with actually I was at a presentation to my students, and the speaker put a photo up of what do you call it, like a mutual friend of ours at the time. Oh no, she's still a mutual friend, mutual acquaintance as well, former colleague to both the speaker and myself, and we talked about her whānau and her tamariki being Māori speaking, because when she started having her tamariki, she was a student and learning te reo Māori, so she was adamant that her tamariki would speak Māori, and then that of course knocked on to from her tamariki to her mokopuna, who are also speaking Māori speaking, and then she has a handful of mokopuna tuarua, and they're all Māori speaking, and so the count up was about 50 something people.
Wow.
All speaking Māori because of this one person. And the language was being used intergenerationally, which is a key, I guess, determiner that the language will survive in the coming generation.
Nice.
Is that you've got momentum, you've got a momentum of community speakers behind the next generation, the new generation.
Absolutely. And we've got to mention Kotahi Mano Kaika, which is an initiative in Ngaitahu. It started, must be 20 years plus ago, about, what was it? I think it was something around, Kotahi Mano, 1,000 homes with all the homes having te reo Māori growing inside, and now we're seeing the fruits of that rautaki through the young people in their 20s that are fluent in te reo Māori, and I got to see that actually when I went to Kawa Matariki down in Treble Cone, but beautiful. So we must not forget about those certain kaupapa e te whānau. Let's take a listen, I reckon, to just a few kōrero here on Paewhiri.
We're hearing it normalised on television now with Pākehā commentators and media people. So now our challenge is to do it in our communities everywhere.
I suppose it gives us all as New Zealanders an opportunity to try and engage more with our native language. We can take ownership as a nation. Obviously, it's not just for the week, but this is a good way for us to engage in dialogue with each other, no matter how large or small the conversation is in te reo. It's just about, giving it a go, kia kaha te reo Māori.
We got to the marae, and the place was just full of Tūhoe people. Wanted to see who's this fellow. How did he get a job here amongst us when some of the incumbents of Rātuki had applied for the job?
You would have been in your maybe early 30s, 20s?
I was in my late 30s, at the mid and late 30s. And one of the kaumātua said, on the marae, the two kaumātua, but one said to me, here's the last speaker, he said, e hoa, kia mohi hoa koe ki te āhua o te iwi o Tūhoe. He iwi noho au tapu tonu ki āia. Ka are whakātua te i ona āhua taka ki te ao. A hakoa nā neke nā whakarite ngai no te ao, nā neke neke haere a tēnā iwi a tēnā iwi. Engari, nā te tainga mai o tēnei kaupapa hau ki te whārua o Rātuki me tēnei kura, ka nā kātahira ki tēnei kaupapa ka whakarahi ake e te tāhuhu o te mātauranga. And ko koe te tūmaki o te kura, kia tūpato. Kei roto I o ringa te mana te tapu o Tūhoe e pupuri ana.
Tēnā koutou, we heard from Peeni Henare, Ria Hall, talking about the week, and that was Tāwhirimātea Williams recorded back in 2017 about him taking up a new position in Tūhoe and being a little bit intimidated when he took up the job at the whare kura there. So just 3 different insights into te reo Māori there for our show.
You got to love the feedback and the feed forward from the kaumātua.
Absolutely.
They just don't hold it back.
Exactly.
But here tāhua, because he māramatanga I reira, they don't paint over anything, and you can take it or leave it, but you know exactly what it is. It's authentic and it's root tears. A tāhua te whakarongo ki ngā kōrero te raona o tātou pāpā Tāwhirimātea.
Ka pai. Okay, te whānau. Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori. Actually, I'm going to give a plug because, as I understand, our new show here on RNZ National, Whakamaori, Season 3, launches this Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori as well. I understand that they did some filming at the university, Nairo, did they?
Yeah, I believe it's the last episode that will be in that series.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So make sure to find and follow Whakamaori because 12 episodes, it's amazing. It's Google Translate come to life. They translate all sorts of things from English to Te Reo Māori with Shane Milne and Anaha.
Dr. Anaha Hini.
Absolutely. Hoi anō, I think that's us. Look at Matua Kiuki. He's just
He's
chilling.
jumping on the bit.
He's chilling there. Kua motu tā tātou wahanga o Paewhiri I tēnei wā Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori. Another new episode will drop tomorrow. It's time for...
Final whakaaro.
See, he knew it was coming. He was just waiting.
I think my brain's a little bit scattered. a little bit.
It's the midwinter doldrums.
It is.
Pai tū, pai hinga, Paewhiri.
Celebrate Te Reo Māori e te whānau. Kia kaha koutou ki te ako I tō tātou reo rangatira. He maha nā hua o roto. There's so many beautiful things about the language. Go and find Hona Black's book, It's Te Kupu, because in that you will find lots of beautiful expressions. That's my final whakaaro.
Tēnā koe te tuahine. Don't have a lot to say that I haven't already said e te whānau. Basically say it every year, just give it a go e te whānau, because the survival of any language rests on actually using it. Ki te kore whakamahia ka naro. It's a bit of a use it or lose it scenario e te whānau.
Aha ko he ti he paunamu. Doesn't matter how little you have of the reo, just keep using it and it'll extend on its own each day. For me, the reo, especially going outside to tangianas at different maraes, places that you haven't been to before, to me the reo is a connector. I'm able to connect to the old people of that marae, even though they're strangers to me, with the reo. For some reason, soon as they hear the reo, and then things that go with it, and they drop names, and next minute whakapapa comes to it, from a stranger you become one of them. So to me, the reo is a connector. It connects me to all the different generations, right down to ngā tamariki ko huna.
Ni ti matua ka pai tira. All right.
Nai hore titi, nai hore tātā, tēnei te Māori ka whakapiki, te Māori ka whakakake, ko te Māori o Paewhiri, tēnei kā rewa ki te rangi rewa tū, tā rewa tū, tūturu e rongo whakamaua kia tīna, hui e, tai ki e.